Well done. In the previous video, you learned how to strengthen your neck. Now that will help with your headaches, your migraines, jaw pain, dizziness, and even shoulder pain. But the journey is not complete until you strengthen your upper back and the muscles within your shoulder. Let's get started. Great, so we'll start with the bent over row. Now for guys, at least 10 kilos. Ladies, you want to be creeping up past 7.5 kilos. Generally, people who are above those weights and can do 10 of them successfully don't nearly have as much neck, shoulder, and upper back pain. It's not just how much weight you're lifting though, it is also how you are doing it. So I want this arm very straight, chest up off the bed, body long. So no slouching, no bending or collapsing on that elbow. Elbow straight, and with the arm that's doing all the lifting, I do not want this arm to shrug up to your ears. This is a 10 kilo weight. Elbow goes up past the body. My right arm is remaining strong and I'm aiming for at least 10 reps. Now that will strengthen the muscles of your upper back, particularly your lats. It will do your arms a bit, but a more resilient upper back and shoulder is going to lead to less neck pain. And of course, the same thing on the other side. Elbow straight, chest up, no hunching, no shrugging. The reason why we don't want to shrug is that it will result in your upper traps and your levator scapulae working too hard. And if these muscles are hunching up, you can get a headache from it. So we want to learn how to use those muscles lower down, pulling your shoulders back and down, particularly your lats, your middle traps, and your lower traps. Again, at least 10. We want to take this till you are tired, till you feel those muscles working hard, till you feel a little bit of a burn, and even push 2 to 3 beyond that. That's the way we're going to build strength. Now, if you're starting with a lightweight, that's absolutely fine. Do what you're comfortable with. Start with maybe 5 to 6 kilograms, but build up the repetitions. So if you can do 5 to 6 kilograms times only 7 repetitions, don't worry about increasing the weight until you get at least 15 or 20 repetitions. Then increase by perhaps just 1 kilogram. Now, like we said at the beginning of the video, that strengthens the muscles around the shoulder blade primarily. So it'll be your lats, your middle back, your middle traps, and potentially your lower traps too, as well as your rhomboids. For the next exercise, we want to strengthen within the shoulder blade itself. You'll be surprised how many people, even really strong people, struggle with this movement. And I find it all the time that people who are big, strong, and powerful bodybuilders, really big biceps, really big delts, struggle with external rotation on their side. And this invites injury because your shoulder is not as stable as the requirements of your lifting. Now, for the general population, office workers, which account for the majority of people, I like to say for ladies, you need to be at least hitting 3 kilograms for this exercise. And for men, 4 to 5 kilograms times 10 reps. Okay, so I'm lying on my side. I've got a 4 kilogram weight, which is about right for me. I can put my arm there if I like. I can bend my knees up if I like. Let's go. Into the belly. I like to go up to the ceiling. It's amazing how many people do not have full shoulder external rotation. And to me, that is a chief cause of rotator cuff issues, shoulder and neck pain, and even having weak muscles that can predispose you to shoulder dislocations. Now, when you're doing that exercise, you want to go till you feel a burn across that shoulder region, and particularly behind in the muscles of the infraspinatus and particularly the teres minor. Now, I do think one of the reasons why office workers struggle with this exercise is because the arms are always in front. On the keyboard, on the mouse, those muscles are in a lengthened position for long periods of time. You will tend to lose strength of those rotator cuff muscles, which reduces stability in your shoulder and increases the demand on your upper back and your neck. Typically, people with migraines tend to lift with raised shoulders. So they'll do a shoulder press or a push-up with raised shoulders, or even the bent over row, which I showed you before, with a hunched shoulder blade. So getting these muscles strong will help you keep your shoulder blades back and down. Now, of course, whatever you do on one side, you have to do on the other. And we want to see is one side significantly different to the other. You'll be surprised how many people who are right hand dominant are actually weaker in this particular muscle. Again, because that arm is always in a forward posture, holding onto the mouse, looking at your phone. That means although they do more work with their right arm, they're actually less stable with it and more prone to injury with it. Now, if you are a strong lifter, a good rule of thumb is if you can shoulder press 10 kilos, you should be able to rotate with at least 3 kilos. Again, we want your rotation to go all the way to the side. If I'm facing this way, you should be able to point all the way to the camera. And there's so many people who can't get that full range of motion, which means that their rotator cuffs are at risk of injury. So again, about 30% of the weight you're lifting up should go out to the side. So if you're shoulder pressing 20 kilos, at least 6 kilos out to the side. The stronger you make these muscles, generally the safer you are, less prone to shoulder injury, dislocation. Now, how often do you want to do these exercises? I'd say at least 2 to 3 times a week and at least 2 to 3 sets of each exercise. That's a good starting base as a beginner, and you can just build up from there. So the last thing I'll show you today is the banded T's, the Y's, and the angels. Now again, this is to build strength in your mid and upper back. And the reason why we want to do that is to prevent that upper trap elevation, the left scap elevation, which can trigger your migraines and headaches. Being very strong in your middle and upper back is going to prevent tension from building up onto your neck. I've made a very interesting short which shows there are 9 muscles which attach from your neck and upper back into your head, which gives you neck pain, headaches, and migraines. So many people start with just a little ache or a little niggle. It develops into a headache that comes into their head, and after that they get all the symptoms of a migraine like nausea, vomiting, difficulty swallowing, difficulty concentrating, flashing lights. In a lot of presentations, it all started from a little niggle in their neck. It starts from neck pain, it goes to headaches, and proceeds to migraines. Now, that's not the only cause of a migraine. There are things that can cause a migraine which are more medical, like hormonal things to do with your period, perhaps a growth in that area. Another short that I did shows that the trigeminal nuclei and the brainstem do exit at the base of your skull in your upper neck. So those first 3 bones in your neck, if they are irritated, again, they can give you all those symptoms of trigeminal nuclei irritation, so pain in your face, and it can also explain all those weird symptoms you get with a migraine. So an elevated heart rate, fatigue, sleepiness, nausea, vomiting, things that you wouldn't normally associate with just simple neck pain. These are all recent advances in research. Stay tuned, subscribe, like, and share so you get more information about how to manage tricky migraines and headaches. Now, the key for this exercise is to start with a band that you are comfortable with. Now, I'm going to attach this to my doorknob, which is quite secure. You'll have to find something which is quite secure at home. It might be a pillar. Hold onto both ends of a band, step back 1 meter or 2, find your spot, and pull. Pull back until your thumbs go behind your body. Now this is a good strength for me. I can feel it in my middle back, rhomboids, middle traps as well. Pull back, hold for a few seconds, and then return. It is surprisingly hard. It is amazing how many big, strong people with a slightly flexed back struggle with this exercise. Lifting a huge amount of weights, but struggling with a banded T or a reverse fly. Now for the T's, we went behind your shoulder blades, pulling behind. For the Y's, we want to go behind your head. I should be able to see your ears when you do this, when I'm looking from beside. This works your middle traps and your lower traps. Again, go till you're tired. It should be at least 10 reps. You should feel this in your middle back and not just your shoulders. The key for both of these exercises, in fact for all the 3 I've shown you today, is not to elevate your shoulders. Having elevated shoulders pulls on those muscles which attach to your head. Those 9 muscles that attach to your head can trigger a migraine. They have known referral patterns into your head. Finally, the last exercise is a rainbow. We're going to start in your T position and then flow above your head and back to T. Again, you should see your ears quite clearly when looking from beside. If you can't get quite behind your head, that's okay. Just try your best. Now, this is the hardest of the 3 exercises and works primarily with middle and lower traps. Holding on to both ends, pull back, elbows remain straight, chest up nice and tall. Elbows locked out nice and straight, I don't want to bend. Chest up nice and tall. Imagine you have been pulled to the ceiling and you're a puppet by a string to your head. Try not to elevate your shoulders. These videos should be pretty comprehensive, guys, on how to fix your neck pain once and for all. I found these are the simplest exercise to show people because they're easily accessible. All you need is a band, an adjustable weight set, and a plinth or a bed. I will follow this up with more videos, but you do have a pretty good skeleton of how to fix your neck pain, your shoulder, your headaches, and your migraines once and for all. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe.